This is Elena. Elena and her family lived in a low-lying flood-prone area in Turagao City. Her and her family took shelter in a nearby mall when the typhoon Haima hit her town. As she saw her house get physically destroyed, she cried in distress for her family and prayed that God would at least save her children. Thankfully, they all managed to survive, but they now live under tarps with about 10 other families alongside the road. Imagine being Elena, a mother with 2 kids, and a husband all worried about what life might hold for them and if they could ever get back on their feet. My name is Alfreda Garrett, and I'm the team leader of Group A. I've been in a bad storm, so I know the effects that it can have emotionally, financially, and physically. I've also completed extensive research on this topic. Natural disasters can cause the destruction of property, loss of financial and everyday resources, along with injuries, illnesses, and can even cause death. Today, we will explore the problem of the effects that natural disasters can have on our society. We will look at this issue of the effects that natural disasters can have by first looking at the problem and second, examining the 6 solutions that these 6 charities provide. Jaden Robertson will discuss the Salvation Army of Tyler. Rachel Morrow will talk about the Red Cross. Bianca Guzman will discuss All Hands and Hearts. Vernon Polk will talk about East Texas Food Bank. And Tyler Foundy will introduce the National Disaster Relief Foundation, and Chelsea Colburn will talk about the Samaritan's Purse. Let's begin by discussing why the effects of natural disasters is even an issue. To do this, let's talk about the history, present, and a possible future if nothing were to change. Let's begin by looking at the history of this issue worldwide. About 90,000 people are killed by natural disasters every year. Of 200 million that are affected, 36 million were forced to leave their homes in 2008 and are now considered internally displaced persons. According to a March 10, 2010 article, Natural Disasters, Conflict, and Human Rights Tracing the Connections by Elizabeth Ferris, accessed by Bookings, about a quarter of those displaced by the Hurricane Katrina have not yet returned. About 3 times as many natural disasters in 2000, there are about 3 times as many natural disasters in 2000 and 2009, compared to 1980 to 1989, and 80% of those are climate-related events. Now that we looked at the history of this issue, let's talk about the present status of this situation. There are currently about 400 natural disasters that happen every year, affecting 200 million, which is double the number 20 years ago. The poor and the less marginalized are the ones that are affected the most by these issues. According to an October 10, 2017 article, Time to Ensure Developing Countries Against Natural Disasters, by Marcelo Gueli, accessed by the World Bank, research shows that natural disasters can trap about 2.6 million in extreme poverty. Now, the natural disaster coverage of the news continue to be biased because disasters in Africa tend to get less coverage because they're seen as less spectacular. According to a July 9, 2017 article, Not All Deaths Are Created, How Many Deaths Make a Natural Disaster Newsworthy, accessed by our World in Data, there are about 45 times as many people that would have to die in Africa for it to garner the same media attention as a European one. This basically justifies that location does matter for the preparedness against Mother Nature's forces. The Natural Disaster, Conflict, and Human Rights Tracing the Connections goes on to say, an earthquake that registers at 6.9 hit Armenia, killing 55,000 homeless, whereas one in San Francisco killed 62 and leaving 12,000 homeless. Now that we have looked at the history of this issue, let's look at the future if nothing were to change. Because America continues to grow, the severity of these storms are only bound to get worse. According to a March 28, 2005 article, The Impact of Climate Change on Natural Disasters by Paul Prosbiak, the Intergovernmental Panel's 2001, claimed that climate change will cause sea levels to rise from 0.11 to 0.77 meters by 2100. Now, changes must be made because we simply cannot afford to ignore this issue any longer. Now that we have looked at the history, present, and a possible future of this problem, Jaden Robertson will give us more information on the Salvation Army of Tyler solution. Today, we have explored the costly effect that natural disasters can have on our society. We looked at the issues surrounding this problem by first examining the problem and second looking at the solutions 6 charities provide. The Salvation Army of Tyler, the Red Cross, All Hands and Hearts, East Texas Food Bank, National Disaster Relief Foundation, and the Samaritan's Purse. In addition to supporting these great charities, I also ask that you be more aware of the world that you're living in. This world is only bound to get warmer, and therefore bring on stronger storms, and with that, more deaths. Try to put this issue in a conversation. We need to acknowledge that if we don't make a change now, then that can mean severe consequences for us in the future. Because poverty is a major effect of natural disasters, I also ask that you be more aware, participate more in government's issues. Remaining informed and building resilience is a key, and for that, we need the support of everyone. I also ask that wherever you are, make sure that you know about your town's safety precautions regarding natural disasters. That includes where to take shelter, how to protect yourself, and how to be smart in those type of situations. We only have one world, and I ask that you protect this because we only have one. So hopefully our generation will rise to the challenge. We must do what is necessary to make a change and help our government solve this issue. So fortunately for Elena, the World Vision charity was able to help her and her family after the typhoon of Haima to aid in emergency shelter assistance, hygiene kits, and kitchen sets, so that her kids here could know that they were not alone and that everything would be okay, ensuring them hope for the future.